good evening, folks. It's Joseph here again. I hope all of you are doing well. It's actually my first time going live on three different platforms. Thank you so much to my business partners who have shared the StreamYard features with me. And now I can stream into, I think, social media platforms. So thank you so much to my business partners for including me in their subscription. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to those of you who may be watching this live or on the replay. My name is Joseph, and I'm coming on to you live again in regards to sharing my knowledge and experiences in the financial literacy space. And tonight's topic is passive income strategies. So for those of you who may not know me, I am the face behind my Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page under my personal name, Joseph Yatko, and I'm also my business name, Joseph Yatko, as well. And I want to welcome all of you watching this episode, and I hope you get to learn something in this episode, and that is definitely the goal on my episodes, is actually trying to share some of my life experiences and some of the knowledge and things that I've applied financially into my financial journey, right, throughout my career. So anyway, let me just make sure that I'm going to share with you some slides. Okay, okay, here we go. So yes, as I mentioned, the topic for today, it's my episode 11, episode 12 in financial literacy. So it's been 12 weeks that I've been doing this, and so far I'm enjoying it. And I know I've received some comments from others who had some questions in regards to financial literacy. I will create more content in the future to answer those questions. But, I do encourage all of you who are watching, if you have any questions, by all means, comment them below, and I'll certainly watch the comment section and answer them right on the spot. But for those of you who are also watching this, it's kind of appreciative if you could comment below as to where you're tuning in from, because I'd like to know the reach of my content, and that way I could also maybe perhaps anticipate and prepare some content, within your geography or within your region, right? So again, my name is Joseph Yatko. The topic today is passive income strategy. Now, I like the motto of saying, make your money work for you, because that's something that I've learned throughout my career in terms of how you can make your money work for you, and rather than working harder, you kind of have to work smarter now these days, right? And again, the goal of this episode is actually, creating awareness and obviously adding value to my viewers and audience. And hopefully, again, you learn something from it throughout the episode. So a little bit of introduction. So, I am born in Manila, Philippines, raised there, migrated here in Canada in 1980 with my parents and siblings. I'm a proud husband with two young adults who are on their way in their careers, so I'm kind of happy and proud with that. I'm a retired IT professional for the banking industry, so I did serve 34 years in one company, which I'm very, very proud of, right? As over 3 decades, I devoted my time and effort and my focus in one company, which I'm very, very proud of. And I do say and admit all the time that whoever I am today is really what transformed me throughout my career with that one company. And with such great leaders, such great mentors, coaches, and also obviously colleagues, right? And taught me a lot in in the banking industry. So I am a financial advocate or a financial coach. I'm a self-taught on financial planning, retirement planning, and also investing. I'm a very proud digital business owner, and also love to travel with my family and explore the world. And from time to time, obviously, with some friends. But that's something that I'm very, very passionate of. Although I hate flying, unfortunately, for us to see the world somehow, some way, you have to fly. So anyway, before we begin, again, I encourage you to ask any questions in the comment section below. And by all means, as a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Okay, I don't intend to sell you anything. I'm here to only share information for educational purposes. Okay, I highly, highly recommend that whatever you learn from here is you also seek advice from the professionals, whether it's financial advisors or financial planners, or so. Seek advice. My intent is to educate you so that you are aware of certain definitions or certain terms that you need to understand when it comes to financial literacy. And at the same time, it empowers you to be asking the right questions with the professionals, right? Whether it's an accountant, whether it's, like I said, financial advisor or financial planner. This is something that you would learn, hopefully that you will learn in this episode, that you can apply towards your financial journey, if you might say, okay, or investment journey, okay, or even retirement planning. So anyway, this slide really talks about the mentality and behavior that I've learned and adopted over decades and decades of my career and experiences, right? I mean, I'm not going to go through every single one, but to me, what's important is having that positive mindset. Because there are a lot of negative people out there, right? You have something very passionate that you want to do, and people kind of, bring you down, and you really gotta try to stay away from those type of people, and you gotta stick to, or you gotta surround yourself with like-minded people, and people that actually supports you, and actually people that have been there in that journey, right? And because that's the only way for you to one, to learn, and number two is to be able to get support from the right people that thinks the same way. Okay, dedication, commitment, discipline, consistency. Obviously, those are the things that I've applied throughout the journey as well, because having to create and manage your portfolio, your investment portfolio, and also your financial planning, retirement planning, you have to have these type of behaviors, because you know what? You are in control. You should be in control with your financial decisions and your you would say your lifestyle, your way of life, your you can say living expenses, or controlling your budget, controlling your debt, managing your debt, whatever, right? You always have to be in control no matter what happens. So you need to really think about these type of behaviors that you may have. Continue to learn, right? Learning every day is good. Passionate about learning new things every day. With me, my day is not complete if I don't learn something new in one day. Okay, that's sort of my thing in life. Something that I abide by. Being inquisitive, always asking questions, and being assertive in a good way. Right? When you're talking to your financial planners, financial advisors, or retirement planner or accountant, be assertive, because not a lot of them have the answers to your questions, and sometimes you have to be assertive in a good way to actually drive what you want to accomplish with their help, right? So it's very, very important. The rest of these, being frugal and thinking wisely about how you spend money and invest, obviously, it's given. Applying calculated risk is very important when it comes to investments. You never want to use your emotions. I highly, highly recommend that you put your emotions aside when it comes to investments. I highly recommend that you stick to the plan, and it's about number game. when it comes to investments, right? It's all about the numbers when it comes to investments. And then taking accountability and responsibility of your own destiny, of course, right? So what you will learn tonight, I'll try to wrap it up within 30 minutes. What you will learn tonight with simple and real life examples as well that I will be sharing with you is what is passive income and what counts as passive income. So now these days, everybody is looking for passive income. Why? Because of the cost of living, because of inflation, because having a traditional job, a 9 to 5 job, one salary is not enough nowadays days. There's just expenses and inflation is just too high. And it's a lot of people are feeling the pinch, right? So passive income has always been something that people always look for because it can definitely add some benefit or breathing room in your daily lives, right? Building an income stream that doesn't require full-time work. So that's something I just want to cover quickly. The pros and cons of upfront time and investment versus maintenance, right? When it comes to how you want to manage your investments and your portfolio. And then lastly is the tax legal considerations on passive income. So there are actually ways as to how you can create passive income in a tax sheltered way, okay? So anyway, first things first, right? So what is passive income? So what counts as passive income? So the definition of passive income is something that you have worked on or invested on before, and now it's creating positive cash flow on a regular basis, or monthly basis, or quarterly basis, or yearly basis without doing much work. So it's something that you've done in the past, and now it's paying off, right? On a consistent basis, right? So a lot of people, that some of the common types that they've used to create passive income is really dividends from stocks or funds, right? So you would invest on the stock market, the dividend type of stocks where you invest on a company and they pay you back dividends on a regular basis. So that's actually creating passive income because dividends now become passive income, right? Based on what you've invested before. But the challenges there is that it takes time to build up the capital to start collecting a good amount of dividends on a yearly or monthly basis or even quarterly basis, right? Interest from savings or bonds, that's another way. Rental income is also another good way of looking at what's passive income is really your rental income. Now, it doesn't become passive income unless it's obviously cash flowing on a positive basis, but at the same time, passive income is a net income, meaning you have to account for the expenses, the maintenance, the repairs, the utilities, all that stuff, the fees, and then your net income would be your passive income, right? There's also royalties from digital products or type of creative work that the digital products can produce, like an income. So in our digital business, and that's, by the way, that's another tip, that if you are looking into a digital business like ours, make sure that they have a good compensation plan, which includes the passive income that can generate for you, and also build generational wealth, meaning you can pass on the passive income to your kids and to your grandchildren, right? So look for that type of business model, because ours is definitely like that, and that's why a lot of people are actually being attracted to this digital business, because it has that passive income capability. Not all digital business has this, okay? So why it matters? Before I move on, so another thing that I consider as passive income is your government benefits, right? So in the US, I think they call it Social Security. In Canada, it's Canada Pension Plan. And I believe in the Philippines, it's SSS, right? That's actually, I consider passive income. Why? Because it's something that you've invested in the past, right? Whether it's you and your employer invested it on creating that pension plan. And now once you retire, you're actually collecting it from from the pension plan, right? So it's actually producing a passive income for you. So I do consider government income benefits as passive income, and not only passive, but they're also guaranteed income. Okay, so why passive income matters, right? Well, like I mentioned earlier, that instead of relying on your 9 to 5 job salary or wage, passive income gives you the extra cash flow as a cushion, okay, as a cushion, and it boosts your income, even the possibility of reducing dependence on a single job, right? That's actually what people use a lot, is that they create passive income as a side hustle at this moment, and then hoping that that will supplement their current income, and at the and hopefully in a few years, it would, that passive income would be their, I would call it plan A, or their income for years to come. Okay, so a lot of people are doing that. They're actually working 9 to 5 and then building a passive income, which is through a side hustle. And in our digital business, a lot of our business owners have already transitioned the income from the digital business, and it has become now their income of choice, right? And they're able to retire or to leave their jobs, because now this digital business is even earning more than what they thought. So passive income is definitely something that they're very, very attracted to. An example of passive income, I also already mentioned this, about you invest on dividends paying stocks every few months, right? Dividends come in without you doing any extra work. So that, I sort of mentioned that earlier. Or start a digital business, like I said, like the same as ours, with passive income in their compensation plan. Now these days, a lot of people have to be smart in terms of choosing what they want to do in life. And digital companies or digital businesses that offer passive income is definitely the way to go, and it's the way of the future. And if people don't believe so, then I think they might be on the wrong path. Because anyone you speak to, whether the financial gurus like Warren Buffett or Robert Kiyosaki or Dave Ramsey, everyone is also always looking for passive income and cash flow, right? So it's just very important. It's a huge mindset shift that people really need to think about, because those days working for a 9 to 5 job, it certainly does not cut it with the rise of living expenses, right? So building an income stream, and that doesn't require full-time work. So I sort of talked about this earlier, where people are actually starting a side hustle to build an income stream, and hopefully that will replace their 9 to 5 income, right? And hopefully it transitions that way. And the fact that they're working so hard in terms of building the side hustle business certainly puts some pressure on their daily lives, but they can see at the end of the day, they can see that it would be beneficial for their future, right? So building an income stream is as simple as it's a one-time setup, right? Especially on a digital space. Ongoing returns. Many passive income streams require effort or investment upfront, but then demands minimal ongoing time. What I'm saying here is that it's always been tough to start a business, or any type of business, whether it's traditional or digital business. There's obviously an upfront cost and an upfront investment of time, and those are one of those things that you really have to look for as well. And when it comes to digital business, in our digital business, I was able to, and a lot of business partners of mine, we were able to start and launch our digital business within 2 to 3 weeks. Our websites are running, and we're off to the races, right? So you got to sort of look for something like that when you're building an income stream. You got to look for something that you can afford, first of all, when it comes to a startup cost. And number two is, how fast can you launch? Can you start your operation, right? And the digital business space, like I said, 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you're up and running. And it's not difficult. It's not, you don't need to be tech savvy to do so, because we have a complete package that is almost like a franchise, that all you do is just fill in the blanks and apply certain things based on your you would say profile, or based on what you want to promote on, and based on who your target customers are, and then you launch, right? So we do have a full package to start off with. You can call it business on the box, right? And it's ready to go, right? So it's very, very easy to start and launch your business. Flexibility for busy lives, right? So people building an income stream, not requiring full-time work, but it's on a part-time basis, they're seeing that they have some flexible times or down times within their personal lives to use that time to launch or to operate their digital business, right? So this works especially well for parents and employees and healthcare workers who don't need a second full-time job. Just plans, on a very, very smart way, right? So, for those people who are working 9-to-5 jobs, after 5 o'clock when they get home, they can work for a couple of hours and as a side hustle to manage and run their business, right? So a lot of people are doing it this way, and some people are even doing this during their break time or lunchtime, right? Running a side hustle, and that works too. So you just have to work on your time management, right? Diversified approach, right? Having both active income through job or business, whatever, and a passive income adds financial resilience, right? If one slows down, if your regular job or your traditional job slows down, or something happens, you get laid off or so, then this income stream obviously helps, as a supplement, or while you're sort of laid off, or while you're on break or whatever vacation, you can actually work and build that income stream as you please. An example of this, let's say that you own a rental property, but hire a property manager. You actually earn rent without doing any day-to-day chores, right? Or invest in a dividends ETF, exchange traded funds. Invest in there in the stock market, and you collect dividends without watching the market daily. So that's another way, right, of building an income stream that doesn't require full-time work. Now these days, there's always that comment that people, all our coaches and influencers saying, right, work smarter, not harder, right? And this is exactly what this means. You really have to look at paving the way as to what is going to be your next chapter in life, and what is going to be your future in life, especially when you have a family to raise, right? So pros and cons of upfront time investments and maintenance, right? So passive income can provide financial freedom and stability, extra income, even when you're off work. So a lot of our business partners actually, and if I could just share this with you, a lot of my business partners are actually experiencing the flexibility and stability of having passive income. As a matter of fact, a lot of them travel, and when they come home, they have checks in the mail, as passive income, because most of them, have reached a certain threshold, and that the company that we're affiliated with are providing a fixed monthly income to all of our business partners. And the great thing about it is that our business partners did not take long to create the passive income. Some of them have been in the business for 3 to 4 years, and they are already receiving passive income, like consistent passive income. Can you imagine? Passive income normally takes time, sometimes decades to build. Like I just mentioned to you, for you to get a good payout on dividends, you have to have a large capital, right? I mean, who has a large capital to invest to get high dividend pays like that? Not a lot, because it takes time to build. It takes decades to build. Another example of it is the pension plan. Pension plan takes decades to build, multi-decades, at least 20 years plus, 25 years plus, to build your pension plan to give you, a 4-digit pay, only 4-digit pay, right? And you built it how long? 25 years. That's like a pension plan. It only gives you 4 digits a month pay, right? Whereby in our digital business, right, our business partners are earning 4 to 5, sometimes to 6 digits on a monthly basis, believe it or not. So a lot of our business partners are already experiencing a financial freedom and stability, coming from the passive income. It gives them flexibility, a chance to spend time with their loved ones. As I mentioned, they're on their vacation, their trips, and typically, a family who's working in a traditional job would go on vacation and then come back to pay bills, right? Or maybe to pay the bills of their vacation. In our digital business is different. Our business partners, a lot of our business partners are actually earning more. They're actually earning more when they come back because of the passive income and because of the bonuses and compensation that they're receiving from our affiliate companies. Scalability, some passive income streams grow over time. That's another pro, right? Some passive income streams grow over time without proportional increase in work, right? So digital products, dividends, and investment, they scale. I mean, a lot of our business partners continue to scale, and that's why they're able to earn 4 or 5 digits monthly passive income. Okay. Now the cons, there's obviously a few things that you want to consider. Some passive income paths need significant upfront effort and time. Yes, of course, because when you're starting a business, you definitely need to have an upfront cost and obviously time and effort to learn and get trained and to understand how the business works, right? Now, in the capital cost in this case, in our digital business, there's a few ways that you can select. You can select to start a business with a lower capital, a medium cost capital, and then a large cost capital. So there are multiple ways that you can start in our digital business. So that's why it's very attractive to other people that wants to start this digital business. Some income streams have risks and variability. Property vacancies and market drops, yes, for rental income, right? Property vacancies and drops in demand may affect home income. So, this talks about the rental business, right? So if you are a short-term rental business, there are obviously going to be some vacancies because, certain weeks, certain days are not going to get booked, right? So those would be considered as vacancies. That's why we, if I were you, like what we did before, my wife and I, is we have a short-term kind of Airbnb type of rental property, and we have the long-term property where we have long-term tenants as well, and they kind of offset each other. And we created that sort of, you can call it contingency, so that the full-time income can financially support the short-term rentals, right? If there's any vacancy. So it actually works very well that way. So yeah, that's what we did out in Florida when the market crashed. We invested in rental properties. Maintenance and occasional oversight may be needed. Renting properties, yes, that's has happened to us. And may need management, investment, need monitoring, and digital sales may need updates. Yes, and that's normal in any type of business, right? In our rental property, we have hired a property manager that looks after our bills, our property, our maintenance services. They look after that, and we pay them that 10% cost, right? So they all manage that themselves, and we don't have to worry about, because we're not there. There are the eyes and ears, so they manage it all for us, including paying the bills and stuff like that. And it's very good advice that I would say that especially if you're investing in another country, then you should have someone that you can trust as a property manager to pretty much to manage and become your eyes and ears as you get tenants on a regular basis, right? And lastly is unrealistic expectations. A passive income isn't a get rich quick scheme. Yes, this is one thing that you have to, or most of you, if you see any businesses out there, it's a get rich quick scheme, run away, right? There's no such thing. There is no such thing. A lot of the creation of passive income takes time and effort, whether you're going to create it through investment of stocks, investments on dividends, investing on a digital business. Everything takes time, and you just have to work at it diligently, and make sure that you're always focused and consistent in the things that you do, and dedicated enough to make sure that you continue to manage and make progress, right? Make progress on your journey, right? So it's a tool for long-term wealth with smart planning and patience. So it's very, very true. You have to avoid the unrealistic expectations. You have to sort of just pace yourself and create a plan, create a vision. We call it vision board, right? And that's really how you can follow your dreams and your goals in any passive income streams that you actually build. Okay. And lastly, so this is the last slide of 32 minutes. So last slide, tax and legal considerations of passive income. So this is something that people miss a lot, right? Passive income, dividends, rental income, interest is often taxable income. Yes, it's important to understand how tax work and where you live, right? So, dividends income in Canada, that is, when you have income coming through dividends, you are taxed differently compared to a traditional job, like you get a salary, you get a wage, that's 100% tax, whereby dividend income is only percentages. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 25%. I could be wrong, but I think it's 25% tax. So it's very, very wise to invest in dividends because you only get taxed 25%. Well, in rental income, on the other hand, that's income. That's a business income. So it's a little bit different. It's also taxed differently, right? Especially, like I said, where you live. In Canada, rental income is taxed differently because what happens is that you get your rental income, and then you have to subtract all of your expenses, and then you get your net income, or you can call it profit. And your profit is now going to be based, or taxes are not going to be based on your profit, right? So, and it's taxed differently. It's not taxed the same way as if you're working for an employer. So there are definitely advantages in terms of earning income streams through a business because it's taxed less, right? The different income types may have different tax treatment. Sort of what I'm just mentioning now, interest versus dividend, capital gains versus rental income. This affects what you actually keep. Yes, it's very much so. So that's why it's so important. I don't know if you have experienced the saying of the American dream or the Canadian dream. Well, that American dream, Canadian dream, is not because you're working for an employer. It's actually you're actually building or running a business and making good profit in running the business, right? So that's what the American and Canadian dream is having a business, because having a business, you can earn more because it's also less than taxes. Okay. Proper record keeping and legal structures. So this is also very, very important, right? You must keep records of all of your receipts or expenses or whatever it is. You must have keep records of them. And the thing is, what's important is that you have to keep it digitally recorded, because some of those receipts, they fade. They fade because the inks that they use there, it doesn't last, right? It doesn't last. So you gotta keep electronically record keeping receipts. Okay, it's very, very important. I mean, again, track your expenses, your income, and obviously your taxes, right? As well. When you file for taxes, you also must keep records of your tax filing as well. Lastly, is plan wisely. Passive income is real, but only if it's done smartly, right? Use compliant methods so you can build income and stay protected. So what this really means is, not all passive income out there are legit. You just got to be careful, right, on those. And in our digital business, we have we declare our income. In Canada, we receive a T4A. It's a form a federal form that we get, and that gives us the claim of our taxes and all our revenue, right? So that makes it legal. And in the U.S., I think they receive Form 1099, right? And as we are all business partners, we all receive this form, and it actually certifies and legalizes that our business is definitely legit. Okay. And then again, obviously planning it wisely. And I think that's pretty much my last slide. I mean, this slide really just a reference slide. This is where what I use in terms of collecting my information, whatever I'm sharing with all of you. Canadian Couch Potato, investing in Google, retirehappy.ca, and getsmarteraboutmoney.ca. So these are some of the websites that I've used to share my content with all of you. And then lastly is, I just wanted to say thank you so much for those of you who are watching this, even on the replay. Truly appreciate your support. Those of you who may have learned something from this, I hope you continue to follow and hopefully learn more. And by asking questions, I can certainly put together content so that I can share them with you and sort of answer the questions that you may have. And then lastly, may God bless you all. If we can just be kind to one another, the world will be in a better place. So until that, that's pretty much it, folks. 38 minutes. Thank you so much for all of you joining or listening to this. Until my next episode, may God bless you all. Bye for now.